Hello, I'm JW, and it's another old Fusebox, and it's this one on the table here. This one is made by Crabtree, and you can see the Crabtree label on the front there. It's finished in this rather drab coloured paint, and there is an explanation of that inside, so let's open it up and have a look. Now, this is a Crabtree Fusebox, and that says on the front here with the registered trademark and Crabtree in the centre. That's just a transfer applied on the front. And it's got those bits of nasty white emulsion paint on it, of course, because every Fusebox ever made always has some of that on it. On the side here, just got the usual little clip, which just secures it closed around that peg. And on the other side, two hinges there to fix the lid in place. And the rest of it's pretty much as it was, and there's no cutouts or damage on this particular one. And inside, see we've got the row of fuses, 5 fuses at the top here, and another 5 at the bottom, again double pole arrangement, and the wiring would come in the centre and then go out to each of the 5 devices with the cables or wires coming out of the top or the bottom in the case of those at that side. Now, all of these fuses are 15 amps, 1.5, and it appears this box has probably never been used, as it's remarkably clean inside. There's absolutely no damage or broken parts, and there's no cutouts in the panels here for any cabling or other wiring to go in. So either it was fitted on the wall and all of the cabling came in the back, or more likely it was never actually used, and therefore it's just sort of in its original as new condition. And the reason it's got this rather drab brown paint finish is revealed here at the bottom. As you see there, it says war finish, so this would have been made in the early 1940s. And of course, brown paint is much easier and quicker and cheaper than putting on high quality varnish, which would have probably taken several coats. And of course, being during the war, resources and the like were in fairly short supply, so hence it was a cheaper and more economical method to just put a quick coat of paint over it. And the lid here got the label which identifies the circuits. Again, it's totally unused, so presumably never actually been installed anywhere. This actually goes up to 12 circuits, but of course this box only has 5. Also just a generic label which was used on all sizes. On this side of the label we've got a little table there which just shows the rating in amps and the corresponding size of wire to use. Obviously these are rewirable fuses. And note that as well as the usual multiples of 5s, we've actually got the 8 amp rating in there, which is slightly unusual. Now, the fuses on these are all the same. Essentially got the single screw in the centre to fix it onto this wooden back piece. Screw terminal at the top here just for the wiring to enter there to whichever circuit you had. And at the bottom just got that solid, looks like brass bar which goes all the way across. Obviously that's where the power would come in. And the fuse holders here is the fuse wire. So it just wraps around the side terminal there and goes through a hole at the end there. I think it comes out the other end and goes around the terminal on that side. And these are all 15 amp rating, 250 volts. Now, these fuse holders are slightly unusual in that they've got actual sprung contacts here, so rather than just usual bits of bent metal, they've actually bothered to put a spring inside, so because when it fits in here it will press firmly onto the contact at the top and the bottom, so this certainly would have been amongst the more high quality range available. And as you see, the contacts are still bright and shiny. There's certainly no evidence of these things ever have been used or actually connected to any power. And on the side there, I've just got the Crabtree word moulded into the ceramic material, and the part number just on the other side there. Now, this brown block in the centre is where the main incoming cable would be connected, so I'll just remove this and have a look underneath. And so we've just got a single large terminal there, and of course your incoming wire, line or neutral would go through the hole and be clamped in, and then it will be distributed to all of the fuses via the bar at the bottom. And the little brown piece is actually just a piece of Bakelite or similar plastic, just moulded with the hole in the centre for fixing. So it's got Crabtree, British made, and X14 on the top. And that's purely there just to cover over the terminal. So if you opened it to replace the fuses, at least there's some chance of your fingers not touching directly onto the live conductors. Both halves are exactly the same, so you would have, say, the line at the top and the neutral at the bottom, or whichever way around it happened to work. It wouldn't actually make any difference. And of course, being prior to 1955, you'd have fuses in both the line and the neutral, something which is no longer allowed because the problem there is if the neutral fuse was to blow, the equipment wouldn't work anymore, but it would still be potentially live and potentially therefore dangerous. Now we've got 4 screw holes, one at each corner. Those we use to fix it to the wall, or more likely a wooden backboard. And on the back, so not a whole lot to see there, just got the various ceramic pieces on the back there. And of course this is where your wiring would actually enter from the supply, and correspondingly under there as well. And then so your circuit wiring would just come out of the ends of the fuses here. So it's certainly possible that this could have been put on the wall with holes, the cables coming in from behind, and that's either how it was done or it was never used, because say the actual box itself is totally undamaged, and there's usually on these sort of cutouts been made along the edges where the cables would have entered. So they are either totally on the wall and no wires visible type of installation, or of course never actually been used, simply placed somewhere and forgotten about. And finally, just a few little details here. Notice the screws here have actually got a brass cup underneath so that the screw doesn't actually bite and damage the timber at the top. And there's a little tiny hole there, which when the lid comes across, there's a corresponding peg on the lid there, which will fit into the hole just to provide a proper location. And then of course the little piece on the side to secure that closed. So look there, the Crabtree wooden fuse box in wall finish, and that one is certainly 70 odd years old, but bizarrely appears to have either never been used or was only used for a very short time before being removed and stashed away in a cupboard for many decades. But until next time, thanks for watching.